Hello, welcome to Stamp Designs with Denise. I am Denise Johnson, an independent demonstrator for Stampin Up, coming to you live from Bedford, New Hampshire. So thank you for joining me and watching my video, either live or on replay. You can find me live every Monday at 1 p.m. and then I also post my videos to YouTube, and I just received a notice last week that I have actually attained 500 YouTube viewers. So that's just incredible to me. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. I see I have a couple people joining me live right now. Paige and Vicky, welcome. I'm glad to have you with me as always. So I just started posting my videos to YouTube in August, so I'm pretty excited that I've got 500 people that are interested in watching me, and they're commenting on my videos. So I wanted to also say that I haven't done it for the past couple of weeks, but if you are watching this video, either live or in replay, I do a raffle for people that comment on my videos, and then I will send you the 3 cards that I made during the video. So for December 28th, these were the 2 cards that I made. I made this Darling Donkey Shaker card, and then I used the Nothing's Better Than bundle to make this cocktail card. And so for my Facebook viewer, I have Jennifer Jarla commented, and then for YouTube I have Roberta's Artistic Adventure. And so I have Jennifer's address, but Roberta, if you want to send me your address, I will get those cards mailed to you. And then last week I made these 3 cards. This was the Lots of Heart that I made. This was the one using the Berry Blessings, which is a Sale-A-Bration. And then also, let me see, this one using the laser cut paper, Dandy Wishes. And so Paige commented on Facebook, so I'll send these in the mail to you. And then on YouTube, Desiree. So I do not have your address, Desiree, so if you send that to me, I will get those in the mail to you as well. Also, Whisper White has been discontinued, and so I just received my basic white. So I'm going to start using this cardstock on my cards, but it is available. There is a link on my blog that will take you, that has the new ordering numbers for all the basic white products. There's 8.5 by 11 cardstock, 8.5 by 11 thick cardstock. There's 12 by 12 basic white cardstock. There are basic white envelopes, basic white 3 by 3 cards and envelopes, and also I believe note cards come in the basic white now. So there will be a flyer on my blog so that you will have all the correct numbers for ordering the new basic white. And so that's fully stocked and available now, which is great, because I thought for a while that the Whisper White had gone away, that there would be a lag time between being able to order the basic white, but there is not. It's all available, so you can get that now, which is fantastic. So I am going to get my camera flipped around. I have 3 fun cards that I'm going to make today, and I'm going to get started on that. So hold on while I flip you over. Okay, let's get in my holder here. Make sure I'm centered. And so we're in the swing of things here at Sale-A-Bration. I will have links to the brochure in the mini catalog on my blog if you do not have these yet in a hard copy. If you're local to me and you would like some, get in touch with me and I'd be happy to get them to you. I know that for my customers that ordered with me last year, I mailed them all to them, and I believe most everybody has received them in the mail at this time. So if you are a customer of mine last year and you still have not received one in the mail, then please reach out to me and we will get you another one. Sale-A-Bration is a fantastic time of year at Stampin Up. So you can earn free products for every $50 or $100 you spend. There are two different levels. The level 1 is the products that you can earn with a $50 purchase, and then level 2 would be the products you earn with a $100 purchase. So if you are interested in joining Stampin' Up, right now they have a fantastic promotion for new team members, where if you join, you can get 5 packages of the 6x6 Designer Series paper for free. That's a $57.50 value. And these papers are the new patterns that will be available in the new annual catalog coming out at the end of June. But you could get them now. So they're 6x6. So I happen to have the subtles, the brights, and in 2022 in colors. And they also have the regals and the neutrals. So you would get 5 packages of each different one. So they're really fun. The patterns are fantastic. I'm going to make a card today actually using those so you can see the patterns. When I do that, my team and I have a great time. I am part of a much larger team. Some advisors on my team are actually the $1 Million Sales Achievers, and we have monthly meetings on Facebook and Zoom. There's a lot of incentives, monthly swaps, creative challenges. So if you're interested in joining, you get, for a $99 starter kit, you get $125 worth of products, and reach out to me and I'm happy to talk to you about this. And then yesterday was the last day to get the Sending Hearts Paper Pumpkin kit, but the add-on kit is still available. There's these little love boxes, and then there's some labels and some little snails, and so that can be added to a Stampin' Up! Order for $8. It comes with the 20 mini boxes. It's the February Paper Pumpkin kit, which I haven't seen the flyer yet for. It probably came out this morning and I didn't get on the website yet. But it's called Bouquet of Hope. It will be 9 cards and envelopes, and it's sort of made for these times, sympathy cards and thinking of you cards and reaching out to people that are struggling. And it will coordinate with the Sale-A-Bration Flower and Field Designer Series paper. So, okay, that's all my housework. I get all that out of the way. Now let's have some fun and make some cards. So my first set is a Valentine's Day card. I did not use any Sale-A-Bration items on this card, but this Lots of Heart bundle is, the bundle price is $47.50. And so, you know, you just add one other thing to it, add some embellishments to it, and you've reached the $50 in product, and you could earn a free Sale-A-Bration item with that. So these are all the dies that it cuts out. There's a lot of detail to flowers. And then this is the stamp set. And then for my card, I'm also going to be using some of these matte black dots. And I have this double-stitched satin ribbon that we'll be using. We're going to be using this True Love Designer Series paper. It's black and white, which I love. Demonstrators seem to go wild over this black and white paper, and I hope you will too, because of the coloring possibilities. This is a card I made. I colored in one of the patterns using Rococo Rose and Just Jade stamping blends. And then this is another one I colored quickly. I didn't have a chance yet to make it into a card, but I mean, it's just really pretty using the stamping blends with the blending and everything. They come out really beautiful. So this is Poppy Parade, Old Olive, and Mango Melody that I used on that. So this paper's really great and so many possibilities with it. So we'll be using that on our card today. I'm not going to be coloring it in. let's see, this is what I have for our supplies. My card base is basic black. It's 5.5 by 8.5. And then this is the Designer Series paper, True Love Designer Series paper, 4 by 5.25. This is the side I'm going to use. The other side has some pretty detailed flowers on it. I have a scrap piece of white paper that I'm going to stamp, and then we'll die cut out with this heart. This is the basic black. This is 3 by 3. And this die cut has 2 cuts to it. So there'll be an inner black circle, and then there'll be like an outline of the heart with this. So I used a little bit of washi tape just so that I wouldn't, as I was showing these and moving them around, I wouldn't lose them. Then I have a piece of 3.25 by 3.25 real red, and this is the other heart that we will be die cutting with that. My inside of the card will be the basic white. It's 4 by 5.25. I have a 1/2 inch scrap of the basic white for my sentiment, and then the whisper white envelope, or basic white envelope. Sorry, I'm going to say whisper white, I think, for a while. And then also adhesive sheets. So what I did on this black, because I'm going to be using that very thin die, I put the adhesive sheet on the back of this so that when I cut it out, it'll be sticky and it'll be a lot easier to attach to my card. And then I have the Memento Black Tuxedo Black that we'll be using, the Real Red ink, and my stamps and the ribbon I think I showed you. So let's get started with stamping our heart first. And then, so this is the one I'm using. It sort of has like this little swirly hearts in it, which is why I chose this Designer Series paper, because it had similar thin line swirls. So we'll do this in the red. And I want to look at this and make sure that my ink is pretty consistent, because it's a, despite the filigree, it's a pretty solid stamp, and I want to make sure that when I stamp it down, I've got nice coverage on that ink. There we go, and that's stamped really well. Oh, I'm going to leave this open because I'm going to do my envelope and the inside of my card at the same time while I've got this out. So I have this little heart from the set, and we're going to just stamp a few of these. Well, I didn't do that very good, so let's turn it over. Try again. Remember to use both sides of your paper if you mess up the first time. And then we'll do one up here. There we go. So that's the inside, and then this is my envelope. So we'll do one down there, and we'll do another. Maybe I'll have 3 going up like that on the back of my envelope. Okay, so my envelope's done. I'll put that aside, and then I will stamp my sentiment. And the inside sentiment. So the outside is going to say sent with lots of heart. I'm doing that in the Tuxedo Black on my 1/2 inch scrap paper. And the inside sentiment is my heart smiles just thinking about you. So we'll do that on the inside. And then my stamping is all done. So let me get that out of the way. And I am going to bring in my mini boss. So the platform on this is 3¼ inches wide, so it makes it perfect for these projects. And I think I showed you last week, but let me show you again. So this is the Lots of Heart bundle. It's on page 15 of the JJ Mini catalog, and it has this little icon right here that says mini, which then you know that all of these dies will fit into this mini boss, which is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but that's a mouthful. So we've started calling it the big boss for the larger one and the mini boss for the little one. So we just put these in, crank them on through. And so like I said on this one, see there's an inner circle and an outer circle. And then there are little holes in this die, so you just use that to poke out. So this is what I'm going to use. I'm actually going to set the inner circle aside and use that on a different project. So we'll get our red heart die cut out. I'm going to put this someplace safe so I don't lose it. So this mini boss comes with the base plate and the 2 cutting plates, and then it also has 2 embossing folder plates, one for the 3D embossing and one for regular embossing. There will also be a magnetic plate available, but that is not available right now. There were some issues with the original magnetic plate, so Stampin' Up! Took it off the market so that they could rework it and make sure that it was to a quality that they wanted before they continued to sell it. So now we're going to do our last one, the stamped heart. I'm going to line this up on here, use my washi tape to just sort of hold it in place while I run it through my machine. Okay. And so the reason I like this so much is because I leave it on my desk and it doesn't take up very much room. It folds up nice and compact. Okay, there's that die cut shape. And then I also want to show you, I made a little box for my plates. So right now I have those 5 plates that come with it in it, and then this is just an extra mini cutting plate package that I bought to have when my other ones got too worn out or warped. And so my little box holds them very, very nicely right on my desk with my mini boss. So if you're interested in the directions for that little box, if you buy the mini boss, I will send that to you in a PDF file, and I'm thinking I might do a video on how to put that together as well. So let me get all my pieces back out here, and now we've got all our stamping done and we can put this together. So again, my card base, it's scored at 4 1/4, so we'll get that burnished. And then for my designer series paper, I'm going to add this ribbon. I'm not going to put a bow or anything in it. I'm just going to attach it straight on my designer series paper. My fingers are sticking to the tape I put on the back. Okay, and then I'm going to attach that to my card base. Let's get the inside put in. And then our hearts. So this black is going to actually fit right around the edge of my heart here. So remember the adhesive sheet I put on the back of my cardstock before I cut it out. So we're going to peel that off now. And then I will very carefully put this on here. So those adhesive sheets are great instead of glue, because now I don't have a glue mess that I have to kind of let dry, and I don't have any dried glue that's going to show. We're going to use some dimensionals. We're going to pop this up. I really like both of the stamped hearts in this set. Last week I made the card with the buffalo check one, and that was very, very, very pretty. I really like both of those. So let's attach this to our card. And then I have a matte black dot that I'm going to add. Put that right there. And now my sentiment. I'm just going to trim the ends with my scissors. And use some dimensionals and pop that up by my ribbon. And there we go. I'll put that right there. And then this was my envelope that I had with it. And then, so that's the finished card. That's my inside. And there, that went together pretty fast, even doing all the die cutting on those 3 items. So let me just get cleaned up and I will get the stuff out for our next card. All the measurements for these cards will be on my blog, and hope to get the blog published by tomorrow morning, and that is stampdesignswithdenise.net. Okay. So our next card uses a touch of ink. This is one of the Sale-A-Bration items that you can get for free with a $100 purchase, a product purchase. So that means before shipping, and then we don't have sales tax in New Hampshire, but some places, a lot of places actually do. So you'll want to make sure that your product purchase reaches the $100. So I'm also using for this, I am using the Oso Ombre 6x6 Designer Series paper, and this is also a Sale-A-Bration item, and so this you can get for free with a $50 purchase. So it has these 4 basic colors, and then these are the patterns. It's sort of, on some of them it starts dark and goes up late. It's ombre is what that technique is called. So I am going to, we have a 6x6 piece of paper in the Granny Apple Green, so I'm going to trim that. So I'm going to trim this to 4, and then I'm going to cut off the darker bottom side so that it's 5 1/4. I'm going to keep this 3/4 inch piece because that's what I'm going to put my sentiment on. So that's the layer we're going to be stamping on. And then I have a Whisper White, a basic white layer that's 4 by 5 1/4. That will be the inside of our card. I have my card base is Shaded Spruce, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have my basic white envelope. So we're going to get our stamping done first. So I am using the leaves from this set, and then the butterfly from this set. There's also a flower in here and a hummingbird. And it's deceptive because the picture on the front is kind of small, but the actual stamps are much bigger than the pictures on the front. So it's a pretty nice set. The stamps themselves are a good size. So we're going to start off by doing Shaded Spruce leaves, and this is 2-step stamping. So that is not inked up at all. Okay. So I'm going to put one there and then just sort of fill in the bottom here with some more leaves. And then we have the filler stamp, which I'm also going to do in the Shaded Spruce, but it's 2-step. And since I'm doing the Shaded Spruce, I'm going to stamp off first because I don't want it at the same strength ink that is. So I stamp off, and then I'm going to come in and stamp it down. The actual filler is larger than the leaves. It's not meant to be exact. It's not meant to perfectly fill it in. It's a little bit more abstract. So again, I'm inking up, stamping off, and then stamping on my paper. And there, we've got that filled in. So those stamps are done. Actually, I'm going to use the leaves on my envelope. I'm just going to put some down here in the corner, and then maybe some here on the back. I missed a little bit, but that's okay. That's the envelope. Okay. And then the inside of my card, I think I'm going to do the butterfly. So let's get our card front done. First, we'll ink up the butterfly in Calypso Coral. And I put him like he's coming down, landing on that leaf. And then for my inside, I'm just gonna kind of have him peeking in on the corner, like that. And then my filler, again, I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to add color to my butterfly. Right like that. And then for our sentiment, I have the thank you so much. The other sentiments in here are best wishes, thinking of you, hello friend, hope, and love. So let's stamp this in the shaded spruce. I'm thinking that I might need to, I've been using this color a lot, I might need to use my ring anchor and add some ink to it because it doesn't seem as bright and vibrant as I like it to be. Okay, so let's get our card made now. I think all my stamping is done. Okay, so I have Calypso Coral. Oh, this is actually terracotta tile ribbon, but it goes pretty closely with this Calypso Coral. And this is from the Ornate Garden ribbon pack. It comes in the old olive and the terracotta tile. So we'll get out my bow maker, and this is just a wooden block, and then the holes are 1/2 inch apart with pegs, and so I put mine like 1 inch apart to make this bow. And I'm going to put this ribbon right down here. Oh, let me do it this way. Put my tape on first. Make sure it's lined up on the front, and then wrap it around. And I'm also going to trim this, and then I'm going to use the Banners Triple Punch to flag the end of this. And we'll put that down there with a dimensional. So with this set, you can make the same exact card using the flowers and the hummingbird. And, you could do the hummingbird on, you could do either any of them on any of the patterns, the colors that there are. And then our final touch will be to add these opal rounds. These are part of the Sand and Sea bundle in the catalog, but I don't know if you can see they have a little bit of glitter in them. So I kind of like them for this card. Add a little bit of sparkle. Onto that. And then we can attach it to our card base. This is the shaded spruce. There we go for that, and then we'll do the inside. And there we go. That's our finished card, our matching envelope. Again, let me just clean up some of my workspace here, and then I'll work on my last card. So again, that was the Touch of Ink stamp set, which is a Sale-A-Bration item. You spend $100 in product, you can choose that for free. Oh, and I forgot I have my Wink of Stella. I don't know if Paige is still watching, but Paige is my Wink star. She loves this stuff. So because I use the opal rounds, I wanted to just come in and add a little bit of sparkle to my butterfly, which he definitely needs some Wink. There we go. So I don't know if you can see that, but the Wink is fantastic for just adding a touch of sparkle where you want it. And you definitely need it. And so then the other item on this was that Oso Ombre Designer Series paper, which is 6x6. Okay, so my last card is going to use another Sale-A-Bration item. The Darling Donkeys. So these guys are awful cute. So for my card, I am actually going to use the sentiment that's in here. It's your birthday. But I did want to let you know that this stamp set is one of my favorite sentiment sets, the itty bitty greetings. It's pretty much got, you know, a saying for almost all the holidays. Trick or treat, have a lucky day for St. Patrick's Day, anniversary, birthday, congratulations, graduation, Easter, engagement, so love and sympathy. So this is really, really great, and the punch I'm going to use is going to be this classic label, and pretty much almost every sentiment on this, you can use this label to punch out. So it's a really great set when you're looking for a sentiment that's not included with the stamp set that you have. And then we're going to be using the Subtles 6x6 Designer Series paper. And this is the one that I told you about that you can get for free when you join my team during January or February. And so this has new patterns on it. So there's that crosshatch, sort of those little flowers, and then these lines, and then these little X's and O's, squares. So those are the new patterns. So you, for joining, would get 5 packages of this 6x6 Designer Series paper. So let's get out our supplies. My card base is the thick basic white. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have 4 strips of that Designer Series paper, and this is 4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. I have a sheet of the shimmery white paper. It's 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. I have a sheet of the basic black. That's 5 1/2 by 2 3/4. And then I have my basic white envelope. And I have a scrap piece of the shimmery white, which we're going to use for our sentiment. So for this card, I'm going to do some watercoloring with our water painters. So because I'm using water, I'm going to be using the StazOn Jet Black ink. I found that when I use the Memento ink, let me see if I can show you, when I started to add water to it, it started to run and blur. And so you definitely don't want that to happen. But that does not happen with the StazOn. So we're going to start with our little donkey here that's sort of kicking up his heels and dancing. And let's see, we're going to start in the middle. Put him in the middle. And then we'll add one on either side, sort of like he's dancing across the paper. Okay, so I am done with that. So I am going to put that away. And then I did want to let you know that this stains and does not just clean off with the water, which is why we're using it for our watercoloring. And so Stampin' Up! Does have this Stays On cleaner. So it's got this little sponge on the top. So I just kind of dab it on, and then I have my Stampin' Scrub, and I'm just gonna scrub it off on that. So then see, that comes off. It gets the black, the Stays On black ink. And I believe Stampin' Up! Also sells Stays On brown ink. So you definitely want the Stays On cleaner if you don't want your stamps to get stained with it. Okay, so he's all done and stamped. Let me think about my card here, and why don't we stamp our sentiment while we've got this out. So then I do have the Memento Tuxedo Black for my sentiment. And I'm gonna do the It's Your Birthday from the stamp set. We're going to do that on there. And then the inside of my card. I have Hee Haw. You're the best. Trying not to get ink all over myself, but I don't think I'm succeeding too well. I really don't want to get ink on the rest of my project. Okay. So let's do the watercoloring. I'm going to put down a couple of paper towels here, just so that I don't get my working surface wet. And then these aqua painters come in 3 different sizes. There's this big brush size, which is the one I'm going to use. There's a skinny brush tip, and then this is even smaller brush tip. And so also the thing to remember when you get these, I was having the hardest time. I could figure out why I thought mine was broken. It wouldn't unscrew, but it actually unscrews clockwise as opposed to counterclockwise. I don't know why I was having such a problem with that. Maybe it doesn't bother other people, but when you're used to unscrewing things a certain direction, for some reason, that was really freaking me out. So anyways, let me get all my stuff out of the way here and make sure I'm in the camera frame. And then my 3 colors that I'm using, which coordinate with the designer series paper I'm using, it's Balmy Blue, Pear Pizzazz, Blushing Bride, and So Saffron. So I'm going to start with the Pear Pizzazz. And what I have is I have a block. This is a B block. It's one of the acrylic blocks that I mount my stamps on. And I'm just going to pick up some of that ink color with that. And now My aqua painter is filled with water. Obviously, I mean, you could use a regular brush, but this is great because you don't have to keep refilling it with water. I'm going to give it a little squeeze until I'm sure that the end of this is wet and I've got water coming out of it. And then I'm going to first wet the area that I want to watercolor on. So I don't know if you can see this in the camera. And then I'm going to add some water to this and get this kind of watered down. And then I'm just going to kind of put this across the bottom like this and paint that on. So it dries fairly quickly. Now what you want to do is you just kind of squeeze this until you get water coming out of it and the color's all gone, and then it's reusable. So almost that all green is gone now. My block, I'm going to just clean off, and then I'm going to do my next color. So maybe I'll do some yellow. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to color each donkey here a different color, but I'm not going to like stay in the lines or anything. So again, I'm picking up some of that So Saffron ink on my block. I'm going to get my donkey wet here first and then water down this color. And then just watercolor around him like that. So clean off my brush, clean off my block, go into our next color, Blushing Bride. And ink up my block. Make sure I've got some water coming out. I'm going to wet the donkey. Water down my ink. And then just kind of color around him. Okay, clean off my block, and our last color will be the Balmy Blue. Let's pick some of that up with my acrylic block. I'm gonna wet my donkey here, water down my ink. And then just watercolor my donkey. So as you can see, I've used sort of pastel colors and stuff on this. So this, you know, could be a baby card or an Easter card. Which is why that stamp set I showed you was great. It had different sentiments, so depending on what you needed it for, you could use those sentiments. So I cleaned off my brush. I'm just going to get it put away. Cleaned off my acrylic block, put that away. And it's just, as you can see, it starts to curve a little bit because I got it wet. But when we mount it, I'm going to mount it on a piece of that black paper and probably use a little bit extra adhesive just so that it then lies nice and flat. So let's get our card started to put together. And I think I'm going to use the little flowery side of this paper. So we're just going to kind of put these actually on a little bit cockeyed. I'm not worried about being perfectly straight. Our donkey is dancing around, so our paper's going to be sort of dancing across the paper as well. Okay, now we're going to, I'm going to try and go as close to the edge here as I can on this, just so that it lies nice and flat when I mount it on my black cardstock. And then I have this ribbon that I've already tied. I showed you my bow maker earlier. And I don't have the spool of ribbon. I think it's called glittery black ribbon. I will make sure the correct name of it, I can't seem to find it, is in my blog. So I'm actually going to just attach that right there to the bottom. So I don't know if you can, it's got little specks of like silver glitter in it. And then I'll use some dimensionals and we will pop that up. And then let's see, we gotta add our sentiment, and I am going to decorate the envelope. So for this, I have this classic label, and my sentiment isn't really as big as my label, but I'm gonna show you a trick. So I'm gonna punch this out sort of towards the end, like that, and then I am going to stick this back in here. Like this, slide it over to where I want it. Punch it, and now I have the sentiment the size that I want it. So that's a little trick for adjusting your sentiment size with your punch. So we'll add some dimensionals to this, and we'll put that right down there. And then also with this set, oh yeah, here it is. It's got like these little stars. So this is what I was actually going to, let's pick a color. I think I'll just do green. And, oh, I stamped my sentiment going the wrong direction. Well, that's not going to work, is it? I wasn't paying attention to that. So we're going to grab another piece of paper really quick. And we will just cover this up with a sheet of the basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And let me get my sentiments back out. And what did I do with my black ink? Okay. Let's try this again. So we'll do the hee-haw. You're the best. There we go. And we'll add some of these here. There we go. And then we're going to add some of these to our envelope. And I think I'm going to add a hee-haw on the outside of my envelope as well. There we go. Okay. So we just have an extra layer now in here. Let's get that attached, cover up my boo-boo. And there we go. Good as new, and nobody even knows. Okay. So if you're placing an order this month with me, I'd appreciate it if you'd use my January host code and you will receive a free gift from me. If you place an order with me, I always send out a PDF at the end of the month that contains about 10 exclusive projects using Stampin' Up products. And if you use my January host code and place an order over $50, you will get a special gift from me. So let's get our other cards in here. This is our Lots of Heart card using the Lots of Heart bundle. This is our Touch of Ink with the butterfly. And then our Darling Donkeys. And this used the Oso Ombre. So these are our cards. Thank you so much for watching, for commenting, for sharing my video. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate your comments. And remember to leave a little sparkle wherever you go.